Gannon earns even more, though? Like, what if he just wins everything? Is there any way that you see Gannon beating Rick to $1 million?
I think it's going to be tough with
the head start.
Doubling him up right off the bat.
Yeah. We talked about this way early in the season. We just didn't know Gannon was going to, earn over 200,000. Man, if he keeps that up and then even goes higher, very, very outside chance that Gannon makes that a reality. But if it happens, how? Oh, man, this is Ricky's second place again.
Oh, I hope not.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Players Meeting, a Win Dummies production. I'm your host, Lucas Deal, and we're bringing you episode number 34. In this episode, we're going to give an update on some of the A tiers that played out this weekend, our local doubles tournament, which may be one of the coolest formats of all time, Major League Baseball pitcher Dylan Cease of the San Diego Padres makes some moves in the disc golf playing card space, and more chatter about who is the women's #1 player of the year? And did we really just see the best season of all time from the men's side? We'll talk about it all in this episode. As a reminder, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. All you got to do is search for the words Win Dummies. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Diskin Deals Coverage. If you have not, ring that bell for notifications so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so share your comments. Comment on the YouTube video. Well, let's bring him in. The real star of our show, the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty. Smitty, what's up, dude?
Just chilling. Monday night, getting our podcast done. Push it out Tuesday. Keep our tens and tens of fans happy. And, let's talk some disc golf.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're going to get into it later, so I'm sure you don't want to get into too much of the weekend right now, but any thoughts on the weekend that we just had before we jump into some of the action?
Man, I think that we're really lucky in Wichita to have what we have. I mean, maybe too lucky. I think oversaturation of events is causing attendance to dwindle at a few events here and there, but man, you can play league every night. This weekend we had your skins finale on Saturday. We had 1880 doubles on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We had PDG. I mean, we just had a jam-packed weekend of just local disc golf. We are really, really lucky.
Yep, we really are. Yeah, the flights thing, I'll give some shout-outs at the end, but it was a phenomenal first season of flights. And again, I just want to thank all of the supporters of that league because, we had 52 different qualifiers, 183 different players played the league, nearly 1,300 rounds. Smitty, it was just it's been a really, really fun time this year. And I know you helped out quite a bit with that too and getting the thing started. So thank you to you as well.
Well, and it probably single-handedly maybe saved the Air Capital Disc Golf Club. It's the one good thing they have really going for them week in and week out for people to look forward to. So I think that's a cool thing about it.
Yeah. So it's not just mine. It's the Air Caps, and got to be a member to play. Membership drive, November 16th. Come on out and play. It will be at Millbrook. I'll give you some more information about it later. But Smitty, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of what we're going to be talking about today. And let's start where we always start. What's popping? What's been happening around the world of disc golf? And this week, the tour is over. So now you're going to have a lot of these tour guys playing some of these local A tiers. And this is when it gets kind of exciting for me to see some of the local guys stacked up against some of these touring professionals.
And I think this could be a possible prelude to what's going to happen in the next few years in disc golf. I think I know that you're really excited about disc golf speculation, where players are going to go, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who have been getting a paycheck to go play a lot of these disc golf pro tour events who aren't going to have that. And I don't know if you watched Drew Gibson's vlog at all, but he said when he went to Monday qualified for USDGC, finished 10th at one of the most prestigious events in the world and lost $1,500. So
yeah, I did hear that. I didn't get to watch it, but yeah, it's true. I mean, a lot of these companies are paying out lots and lots of money to players to get there, and a lot of them aren't maybe giving back. They're not really getting a return on their investment, right?
Well, I just don't know if they have that money to spend on players and give them a free or a cheaper ride throughout the year. And I think that a lot of these A tiers might be the where they end up playing, and hopefully that we can find some coverage so we can see when we hear about these incredible rounds going down. Like one of them we're going to talk about. I hope there's coverage because I want to see how it played out in the end, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, let's get into it, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with the Down East Players Cup. Look at that trophy, dude. That thing is beautiful.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the trophy guy by any means, but that thing you'd be proud to put on a trophy case for sure. That thing didn't end up in somebody's garage for sure. So, no, this is a really great event for Grady Shue, who doesn't play a lot of pro tour events. He's still obviously a great player, man. He shot the hot round on Monday qualifying at USDGC.
Yep.
And just look at this list of names here. These are all guys that we do see on the pro tour. Matt Thompson, I'm not really familiar with that name, but the other four I've seen on the pro tour, never in the mix, but these dudes threw down, right? Grady averaged 1066 for the event. And I know some people say ratings don't matter, this, that, or the other, but for right now, it's our best identifier of how good a round was. We all know that if you come in shooting 1066, you smoked it, and this dude averaged that for 3 rounds. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's really good.
Where was this one at? Was this in Florida?
No, I think it was in North Carolina, if I remember right, or South Carolina, one of the Carolinas. But yeah, he let it start to finish, and beat up Bob Burridge by 5 and Noah by 5. So good shooting for Grady Shue.
Yeah, great win.
Yeah, for sure. And then from there, move a little closer to home to the Oklahoma Open. And once again, if you look at this list of players, look at those top 2.
Yep.
Mainstays on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, not often pushing for the win, but these dudes come out on top at a local A tier, and that's probably pretty helpful going into the off season to come out with $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever they're going to end up coming out ahead, hopefully.
Money, probably a little bit of confidence too. It's nice to see John Jones Bones, who is not on the pro tour. So, same with Jonathan Fletcher out of Nebraska. Those are not touring guys, and Bones is out of Kansas City, so that's kind of cool to see him in the mix there.
Yeah, just 2 really solid Midwest pros that are showing that they can mix it up with these pro tour guys. I'm assuming both have full-time jobs or jobs of some sort. So yeah, but we can see that Mason here averaged 1037 for the event, which is only 4 better than his rating, but that's still phenomenal disc golf.
Yep. And we had a couple local guys in attendance. I know Logan was there, Logan Harpool. He got 6th at this one. He was lead card, I think, final day even. He had shot a really hot second. And Nolan Ramser was there. He got 19th. And then Disc and Deal sponsored. Alexis Chaparro was there. He didn't have the best final round, but he finished top 25 in a pretty large field for
75 players.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, that's great. That's great for those guys. I wish Logan could have got up there at the top and mixed it up. I know this place has a real special place in his heart. He won this in, I think, 20 or 22. I think it's 20. Mm-hmm. He won the event. So, and then we got this one. This is the one that I want to see the finish on. Hub City Halloween Open. I looked at it. You see who's there tied for second, don't you?
Yeah, your favorite player for sure.
Joel freaking Freeman. That dude was leading it after the first two rounds. And then just the last three holes, 16, 17, 18, Ryan went 4, 5, 4. So par, bogey. Jake Wolf, the overhand specialist. Have you ever seen this guy play at all?
Oh, yeah.
Just weird. And never, I mean, he's one of the guys that is dropping out of a lot of the tournaments that we see. And I don't know if that's injury based or just realizing I'm not going to cash and I'm out of here. But Jake went birdie,
Oh,
to finish. And then Joel frickin' Freeman, who lost by 2, went par, bogey. Okay, so that means that he was still he's tied for the lead going into hole 18 because he took a 6 to Ryan's 4 and lost by 2.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and this was
lost on the final hole.
Yeah. This was also in South Carolina. So
Okay.
I'm hoping there's some footage that'll pop out. Be fun to see. Yeah, and the Down East Players Cup was in North Carolina.
Okay. So one of the Carolinas.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, wow. You just want to see it just so you can watch Joel lose.
I think Joel's a good player. I'm never going to pick him again in any sort of gambling thing because Joel frickin' Freeman me every time. So, yep. So, there was another A tier, but it was mainly AMs. In fact, it was all AMs. It'll be interesting to see what we get coming down the stretch here in some of these warmer states for A tiers. So,
yeah. It's always exciting to me to have a local pro in the mix. I mean, here you didn't have any. Well, Brent is probably your local guy.
Brent's probably the man because those other 4 are all Disc Golf Pro Tour mainstays that are never in the running.
Yep.
Does that just not show you how good the Disc Golf Pro Tour is?
It does, man.
Right. We just looked at 3 events for guys who never win. Happy if they're in the top 10, and they just dominated all the local talent.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
It really is.
All right. Speaking of local talent, let's go to it.
Oh, man. There they are.
Talk about cool trophies, man. I always love pulling these out, just let people look at them. And the first year I took these cement hedge apples and put them out on the park and kicked a bunch of other hedge apples around them and took a picture, and nobody could tell that they were fake, but super cool trophies. Congrats to Charlie Hot Dogs and Mike for taking down the 1880 division. That's Mike's second win. He's got 2 of those trophies, plus he's got another one for excellence in community service. So he's got a 3-pack of those bad boys.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was Charlie's first time to play. And then over there on the 1770 side, I couldn't be more excited for those 2 guys to pull it off.
For sure. I know. Right? I love it.
They probably were they're the underdog story. So super cool for Kyle and Kyle to come in and take down 1770 by just a single shot. And they were the last team to sign up. So super cool. And yeah, like you said before, I love this event. It's fun. Everybody there wants to win, and on paper, everybody should be able to win.
Yeah. But that's what makes it exciting. And so for those of you that don't understand the format, 1880 just means you have to have at least enough rounds in the year to have some type of rating. I think this year we needed at least 5 rounds, and you and your partner can't be over 1880 as a combined rating. And for the other division, you can't be over 1770. It makes it for a very, very even playing field. And then the format, your normal doubles formats on top of it with tough shot, alt shot, best shot, switch and switch bonus. There's so much different things that can happen. Smitty, you put out some cool statistics about all of the switch bonuses and things. And me and my partner, Nate Taylor, the tough shot destroyed us. It absolutely annihilated us. I think we were 7 strokes over par with tough shot. So, it hurt.
Yeah, I mean, the formats are what really level the field more than the rating, because the higher player can't, and a lot of times in doubles, the better player will just carry the other guy to the end, and the other guy won't do anything. And this, dude, it is so dependent on the lower player has to play good, or the better player has to play phenomenal. Kevin and I also struggled in tough shot. We shot worse than you guys did. We were 8 over in tough shot. Yeah, it was brutal, but we were at the top in all of the other divisions. We were one of the top 2 or 3 teams, and I was able to throw a few shots close, and Kevin made 3 sick putts. He made a long jumper in alt, which was amazing. He made an incredible over a cedar tree putt on 15 in switch that didn't even touch a chain, just went right in the basket. And he made another awesome putt in alt on hole 9, another one well outside the circle. So, yeah, it's fun, and I love the strategy that is involved with it. As to, I was listening to the kids I was playing with the second round. They were kids. It was Canton and JT, and they wanted Canton to tee off on one of the longer holes, so they were going to literally miss on purpose so that JT could chip it.
I thought about it.
That's the dumbest idea ever, right? Because it's not going to work out for you. Most of the holes were, if you're trying to switch to get the longer guy to throw, most of them are out of range or bonus birdies anyhow. So I'd never give up stroke to give the other guy a shot. I feel like I can save par on most of those holes from about anywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't want to trust my lower rated partner saving par from the trees when I try to go big and shank it.
We birdied hole 2, which I thought was a good birdie because I can't ever get it but Nate went high flex forehand, and then I hit a stepper, but I also missed one from 10 feet. So for birdie, that one's going to haunt me at least for a couple weeks.
Yeah. And Kevin's the one that punched out all those stats. He told me he would work on them. Of course, it's good, Kevin. Got some free time, and then he sent them to me last night. So
yeah, it was fun though, man. I love that event. And if you've never played and you're in the area or even outside of the area and you're close enough to get to this event, you got to play it. So much fun.
Yeah, we had 34 teams, and I don't think anybody went home angry.
Nope. Yeah, let's talk about this. So I didn't even know who Dylan Cease was because my baseball knowledge is subpar at best. And so tell us about this, Smitty.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's obviously a major league pitcher, so he has a lot of disposable income, I'm guessing. And he's a really good major league pitcher. He had a no-no this year. And he and Paul have been buds for several years. He's partial owner. He owns Olympus with Paul. And he also owns Cactus Rock in Alabama. Okay. So he's been in disc golf, and last I knew he's a Discraft sponsored player. But this Supreme Flight thing is something that Paul had years ago, and it was a clothing and stamp type deal, and always had really cool designs. Like that SF is super cool.
Yeah.
And then when Paul and Brody and Foundation kind of became a thing, I think Foundation actually bought Supreme Flight from Paul, possibly. So it just kind of fell off of the map. And then when that all went south, Paul asked for it back in the divorce, and he got it. So yeah, they're just kind of kicking that off again. And I suppose we're going to see lots of cool sweatshirts and
just different apparel
coming out. So I think Ledgestone's involved with it as well. So, Nate Heinold will somehow make $1 million off of it.
Yeah. He's better at that than course design.
And then this I guess he's co-owner of Brixton Cards now.
Let's go.
I don't. I'm not a card guy. I don't have a single Brixton card. I have no desire to have one. Some people are really excited about it, and
Dude, people are into these new cards. When I was at Dynamic Disc Open this year, there was like a ton of people with cards trying to get them signed. There was at least 2 different people with booklets. Like, oh, let me get this one. Oh, can you sign this one? And so I'm like, I know people are getting more and more into that. And I know when I was a kid, I had so many different trading cards. I mean, I was deep into it then. But yeah, I'm like you. I have never had any of these disc golf cards, but it's really cool. I don't know. Did Ed send you the thing with Brody?
No.
Okay, so Ed sent me a video Brody was doing. You know how he does those card things that he's doing now? Well, he was going through one and got a Rising Star or Names to Remember, and it was Nolan on a card. And I think it's just cool that Nolan Ramser has a card. And it was
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so it was pretty neat. That was, someone local that was. I'm sure Logan has a card out there too. So
yeah, that's
pretty
cool.
neat.
But I mean, I think this is probably awesome for disc golf that Dylan Cease is getting so involved with it. And I mean, it can't be a bad thing in any way that I can see to have 2 destination style courses, bringing back Supreme Flight and now his involvement with the playing cards. I only see good things happening from it.
Always a good thing when you have people with money taking an interest.
Yeah, faux show.
Speaking of money.
Yeah, Rick's the first player to go over $800,000. He's at $824,974.76 after this year. So that's a pretty good chunk of change.
That's all right. Not to mention his contracts, right, on top of it now.
Yeah, this is just disc golf earnings. So
yep.
And I would assume that Rick will be the first player over $1 million.
Oh man, wouldn't it be crazy if young Gannon becomes the one? As we mentioned last episode, we do see the purses going down. We both agree with that, right?
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I do agree. Because of that, there's no way Gannon can catch Ricky. I think he's the only one that could.
Do you have a guess as to what Gannon's currently at after only like 4 or 5 years?
I bet he's like at 300.
406,000.
Dude, stupid.
Yeah.
Wow, 406. So he's about half of Ricky.
Half of Ricky. And Rick's been a road dog for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Rick has a couple more years like he has this year. Let's just say he finishes 100,000. So he makes it, right? Becomes a millionaire. But if Gannon has a couple $200,000 years, he becomes what? 600, 800,000. So, yeah. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that Gannon could possibly beat Rick there. Highly unlikely, but
what if Gannon earns even more though? Like, what if he just wins everything? Is there any way that you see Gannon beating Rick to $1 million?
I think it's gonna be tough with the
head start,
doubling him up right off the bat.
Yeah. We talked about this way early in the season. We just didn't know Gannon was gonna earn over 200,000. Man, if he keeps that up and then even goes higher, very, very outside chance that Gannon makes that a reality. But if it happens, how? Oh man, this is Ricky's second place again.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah, let's not.
I hope not. Let's let Rick have his moment. So, and I've seen some recent Instagram videos of Rick, and it looks like Rick is having his moment currently. I saw an Instagram video of him out clubbing. So,
okay, Rick.
Yeah,
it's officially the off season.
Yeah, well, at least for a week or two. Well, you know who's not clubbing? Gannon Buhr can't get in. So we talked about this a little bit last week, and I stole this from a disc golf fanatics, and it's all 4 of the women that we kind of mentioned, plus Holland Hanley.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies, what female player of the year? And if you just look at it on paper, you just throw Owen and Holland out. They can't win because they don't have any yellow.
Yep.
Right. Yellow's the leader in the category. And then we look at Missy, and Missy has a major, 5 elite wins. She won the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings and had the most money for women. But that's kind of
she also played the most.
Yeah, that's numbers reflecting what somebody wants them to reflect in this case, right? If they would have said average winnings or something like that, I don't think it would be that way. But yeah, the first events played and most cash are all just by playing way more events than the rest of them. Then we look at Evelina, and who I think is the dark horse, the one we got to look at a little bit. 2 majors, 2 elite series is what she's leading the field in. And, she was my pick last week. I'm still kind of giving her the outside shot. I think Kristen will win it.
Yeah.
One major, 5 elite series, average finish of 2.6.
That's pretty nasty. Impressive. Yeah, that's a average podium.
Worst finish, 8th place. Pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Makes the podium 80% of the time.
And see, that could potentially be a skewed number 2, though, just because she played less events. Maybe she's picking and choosing the ones that she likes, So I'm just saying it can go both ways a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and then 15 out of 15 top 10s.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But look at Evelina, 16 out of 17. But, I mean, are there 15 or are there 10 women that we would assume could beat them on any given day?
No, I mean, these are your top players.
Yeah, it's going to take a freak weekend for both of them, for the lady that beats them and one of these gals having a bad week to flip-flop places. But I say Kristen's the odds-on favorite. Evelina's my dark horse.
Yeah, I think that's fair. With the level of consistency that Kristen showed, it's going to be hard to choose against her. You made a good case for Evelina last week, where I'm still hoping that she wins. And I think Missy just played a lot. She did well. She won quite a few. Yeah. And of course, she is big money Missy there. But yeah, I don't think she's going to be the winner just because of all of the consistency from Kristen. If you go as far as who deserves it, as far as putting the grind in, Missy, right? She played, I don't think she missed a tournament. Yeah. Who do you all think? I think some of you weighed in last week, but please comment below on the YouTube who you think is going to win the Women's Player of the Year.
Okay. Well, here we go. We're done with that. Gannon Buhr wins. Okay.
You didn't even let it leave it up long enough.
Yeah, we know. Gannon Buhr wins.
But let's look at that, though.
All right.
Hold on. How much yellow did he have?
Every one of them.
Crazy. I think there's one that someone else had.
That he didn't have.
Oh, Rick got him with podiums.
Yeah. So, I mean,
wow.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. Nothing more to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me see.
So, but then this has been bouncing around for a couple of weeks, this graphic of Paul in 15 and Gannon in 2024. And what a weird thing to compare, right? This is the same thing that people said for all those years when Paul was the dude, comparing Paul to Kenny. There's just things here that we can't compare.
It's the eras, right? When you are talking about this, it's the same way with Jordan, LeBron. Different eras, it's so hard because it's not ever really apples to apples.
Yeah, but let's dig into this a little bit, okay? In that season in 2015, Paul McBeth won 5 majors.
Every single one of them, right?
Yeah. Now, Gannon won 2 last year, only 2. Okay. But Paul McBeth, one of his majors was like the Australian Open, and there was something like 5 1,000 rated players in the entire event. And that counted as a major. I mean, once again, numbers sometimes can skew the point of view, but still both fantastic, both awesome. Elite wins. This is the one that I didn't understand. Maybe Paul had fewer Elite Series tournaments since he only won 3 and he averaged finish 1.4.
Yeah.
So I'd have to go and call his stats up and look. But Gannon had 7 wins. I'm assuming a much longer schedule.
Yeah.
And I think averaging 4.2 is pretty gross.
Yeah. With the game today, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then worst finish, we can see there, Paul's was 3rd. Gannon's this year was 13th. But then look at that cheddar.
Yeah. And we're just calling that inflation.
That's ridiculous. 4 times as much. I mean, Paul had what people are calling arguably the greatest season ever, and Gannon made 4 times as much money as him.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I just called up the 2015 season, and there was no Elite Series because they were NTs at that time.
Okay.
And here's how he finished out. He got 2nd at the Memorial. He won the Glass Blown Open. He got 1st at the Masters Cup, which is played at De La Viega. He got 1st at Beaver State Fling. Scandinavian Open was a major. Let's look at that.
Okay. How many people were there?
It couldn't have been great, I don't think. There was 144 pros. Let's see. Oh, there was quite a few 1,000 rated. But, yeah, I mean, where did he finish? Will Schustreak was 2nd by 11 strokes. So, pretty amazing. But, I mean, you can see the little Ricky thing I stole there.
Mm-hmm.
And this was earlier in the week, so he's probably still a little salty after how it went down. But competing with both week in and week out, it's McBeth, and it's not even close. I don't know, Rick, man. I don't care how salty you are. I think you gotta say that this kid did some crazy stuff this year.
I'd say it's close. I still think it's close. I think him saying it's not even close is him trying to dig. He knows it's close. I will say, I think Paul probably has the edge just as far as the way that he dominated. That average finish speaks for itself. I think that's what I kind of lean towards, but I think it's splitting hairs. I want to share some stats on the next slide that really kind of show some maybe looking at this in a different light, and that's looking at the depth of field. Okay, so if we look at 2015, Paul was beating normally around 75 competitors. Okay, there was only one person rated 1050 or higher. That was Paul. There was 2 people, and this was throughout the whole year, right? So Paul raised to 1050 towards the back half of that year. 1040, there was 2. There was Paul and Ricky. 1030, there was 6. 1020, there's 23. All right. Look at the 2024 stats. Now, this is where the game has definitely changed, and we know we are seeing some of the best disc golf that's ever been played from the field, right? Not just Gannon, but the field itself. 122 competitors. There was 9 that were 1040, so that's 7 more. And then look at this one. This is the big jump. The 1030s from 6 to 32, and then 1020. 58% of the field was 1020, where it was only 31% in 2015. So you have to look at that when you're looking depth of field. Gannon still averaged 4 point something as an average finish with the talent that is today, which is definitely superior to what Paul played against. The same argument that Paul had when we were talking Ken versus Paul. The game keeps improving. The players keep improving. That's why it's so hard to compare eras. So what do you think about these numbers? Have you gone one way or another? Have you chosen Paul?
I'm not going to choose one or the other. I don't think it can be done, but you're right by focusing in on those 32 10-30 rated disc golfers. 10-30 rated disc golf is a bad dude, a bad man. So to have 32 of those in the field, and any weekend the course suits one of them, the breaks go that dude's way. I mean, that's Joey Buckets, right? He's probably a 10-30 dude. Who else do we have win from there? Proctor probably is more than a 10-30 dude, but
yeah, he's probably a little higher.
Yeah. So
Prezi won major. Nicklaus is probably higher. Who else won this year? Gannon. Gannon again.
There's a lot of dudes.
Gannon. Oh.
All right, let's look at your other slide here.
All right. And so here's the breakdown of the 2024 winners. All right. So 1020s, Prezi. Someone won 1030, 7, 1040s, 8, and 1050 7 times. So it's very, very interesting when you break it down this way. Gannon is beating studs, right? Yep. Gannon is the stud among studs. And I think that's where Paul played a lot against a lot of good players. Ken, not as many. Gannon is doing it in an era where we say it every week during the year. Any player can win any time, right? Whoever gets hot. But Gannon said, you know what? I'm going to win the majority of these because I'm always hot. That's what makes it hard to not choose Gannon. Yeah.
I just found the list of James Proctor is a 1030 guy.
Okay.
1035. Joey Buckets, 1030. Oh, AB's a 1036 guy.
Oh, okay.
Nicklaus is a 1040. Oh, there's Prezi, 1029. Simon's a 1030 guy. So, I mean, we're talking Simon and AB in that 1030 range.
Yeah.
Right. Isaac Robinson, that was last year at Worlds. He was 1023 when he won Worlds last year. So, yeah, I mean, those 1030 guys are bad dudes, man. There's a ton of them.
Absolutely.
Ton of them. So, yeah.
So it's very, very interesting, and it's a fun conversation. I'm kind of almost with you, Smitty, where I don't want to choose someone, but I still think I have to give the nod to McBeth. Kind of the same reason I give the nod to Jordan in a lot of ways is because I grew up watching that. That was my first real experience with the sport, and there's nostalgia attached to him that I can't let go. So it doesn't matter what numbers you throw at me. I'm probably just choosing him just because there's a feeling I get that was disc golf at its peak, So
who's Climo? Bill Russell?
Yeah, exactly. Climo, Bill Russell played against people that were terrible. Climo played against people that were terrible. Of course, they're going to have 100-point games. They played against scrub.
And then Gannon Buhr is
LeBron.
Poor kid.
I know. Well, he's the young LeBron.
Poor kid, man. All right, let's get back on topic. My next slide was this, and I think this will be kind of fun to chat about here. If I can flip it. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. So you can go cast your vote for the awards here for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. The most improved award.
Okay.
And what's this other one? A Comeback Player of the Year award.
Okay.
And then I don't care about the last two. I don't give two farts about the.
Yeah. So second team All-State.
Yeah.
Third team. Okay, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Last year I was pretty excited about this All-Star event coming into the year. This year coming up, they're gonna have to do something to get me amped up about it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. So hopefully they do something. But yeah, most improved player.
Man, you should have hit me with this earlier so I had some time to think.
Well, I can think of multiple people that I would put on that list. I would maybe think about somebody like a Joey Buckets.
Yeah.
I would think of
that was who first came to my mind, and I have a name for the comeback player too. But yeah, Buckets. Who else? Who else fits that bill?
well, you mean who's going to win?
Yeah.
How about a guy that went from 0 wins to 4?
AB?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Man, we talked about him early that we didn't think he was going to lose.
No.
And that's crazy how just things shift throughout the year when you look back at it.
Yeah, we were on him big time at the beginning of the year, and yeah, we for sure he was never going to lose. And I mean, he's still in the mix every weekend, but I think if I voted, which I probably won't, but if I did, I'd probably pick him for my most improved male.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think in the female division, we have the same kind of situation. I think Holland Hanley could probably get a mention for that. But I think that Evelina went from no wins to 4 wins, including 2 majors.
Yep.
So,
I mean, honestly, yeah. Either one of those would be fantastic. Kat had her first win, yeah?
Birch?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not. I don't think she can win.
But not consistent enough to be most improved, right?
So, yeah, I mean, and if this is all fan voting, that's just going to be the criteria that people look at. And to me, not winning and then those 2 people both winning 4 events is just ridiculous.
Kind of no-brainers.
Maybe. You don't know where it's going to go, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, comeback player of the year. I think for the men's side, I have to give it to Gavin Rathbum.
Okay.
He had a surgery, and he's another guy that was shredding it early and fairly good late. Who are you thinking?
I was thinking Yuli. Right?
He won it last year, I think, for the comeback.
Did he? Okay. Well, I mean, he even improved more than he did last year, though. His putting was phenomenal this year. I mean, he got hurt towards the end of the year, and we didn't really get to hear from him much, but I thought
he got beat up in a bar so he could come back and win the comeback player of the year next year. Well played, Yuli.
Yeah, so Yuli, I think, would be a good name. I think Rathbun's an awesome choice. What about he didn't come back from an injury, but when we're talking most improved, he didn't get a win. So I guess what's the requirements you need to be a comeback player?
I think you have to be off of the tour or come back from an injury is the way I look at it. I don't know what the actual I don't know if there's some written criteria, but that's the way I look at it. You came back to the sport. I think Juliana won it a few years ago. So
I think it has to be Rathbun with all of his top finishes this year. Not a win, but a lot of top 10s, top 20s. So yeah, I think that's a very fair pick.
I think he'd be a solid pick. And on the ladies' side, I tried to think, but I couldn't really think of one that came back on the scene or was injured last year. I just don't. I was drawing blanks.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anyone either.
And
is there someone we're missing, people? Help us out. Are we missing someone that we like is like a no-brainer that we're not getting on the women's side? Let us know.
I'm going to their website and see what it looks like.
Okay. Spitty's casting a vote currently. Spitty cast a vote live right here.
Vote now. Most improved.
Does it have some names already?
I'm ready to vote. Oh, it's got, I think it's most improved. They have Gannon Buhr, which could be the most improved player.
That's fair.
Ricky, Nick.
No.
Oh, they got everybody listed.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm out.
that was short-lived.
Yep. Well, I mean, I feel like they should nominate 5 or 6 for each division, and
yeah, like they do for Rookie of the Year.
That way, it doesn't get watered down by people getting 1, 2, 3 votes. Let's just figure out who the 4 or 5 or 6 might be, and just limit our vote count to them.
Yeah, because then it becomes just a popularity contest.
Yep.
Yeah.
There is actual criteria here. Comeback Player of the Year.
Okay, tell me.
Get off of there. Celebrate players who have made a remarkable return to competitive disc golf, whether overcoming an injury, bouncing back from a career slump.
That can be anyone.
Yeah, returning to full tour after life. Yeah. Yeah.
Does that put Gavin Babcock in there?
He could be for most improved, yeah. And it's 50-50 media fan vote.
Okay.
So I don't know who the media is. Did you get a thing?
I didn't. I'm sure it's like Terry, the disc golf guy.
More important people.
Yeah, Nate Doss. I mean, it should have been me. Maybe next year. Fingers crossed.
Yep, maybe. So hopefully there'll be some action over the next week to give us something to chit-chat about. We'll surely find something.
Yeah, we're always going to find something. Hey, if you have not, make sure you comment on the video. If you have some topics, like I said, that you want us to discuss, let us know. We're going to always talk about any of the tournaments that happened and, any things that we see, speculation for sponsorships. But yeah, if there's something in particular that you would like to hear our thoughts on, let us know. Smitty, let's jump into our shout outs for the week. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to first?
I think this is the 4th week in a row. My man, Mike Bailey, he finished up the trophies. He helped move baskets. That dude is, I get into a pickle. He bails me out. And Chris Herring did a lot of behind the scenes work out there at Colwich last week. That dude raked a lot of hedge apples out of the fairway, and it was still covered in hedge apples. And of course, Chase for being the second person at the tournament after me, and everything that he does without being asked, or like I turned around, the dude was gone and he was out picking up all the tee signs, so I didn't have to go get him. So
hey, I love that.
Yeah, he's worth everything that I don't pay him.
Oh yeah. What about did we have a winner for the costume contest?
We did, yeah. Steven and Craig ended up winning the costume. I feel like they went the hardest for sure.
They did. They got my vote for sure.
And then the dodgeball people got second, and then Clementines ended up third. So that was a fun little twist. I hope Steven does that again in the future. I think now that people have seen that they're not going to be the only dude there dressed up, they might show up. But
yeah,
I'm not painting my face.
No, I actually honestly could not look at Craig.
Yeah, he was scary. He was so scary.
Yeah, well, I need to give shout outs to all the people. We had 41 show up for the Flight Skins event. Fantastic year. We paid out $1,438 in cold, hard cash to 61% of those 41 people, which I thought was a pretty good number, got paid something. Again, November 16th, we'll have our new flight season. We're going to make a few changes. It's going to be super fun, man. I appreciate you being out there all season. You were 4th in points and had half the rounds as many as everyone else. I told you at one point you won 90% of the time you came out, and it really hurts my feelings.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to some of the courses that were probably not as popular, so there wasn't as many players there. Pretty much every time I went, there was quite a few people. And Thursdays are not great for me, really.
Yeah. I think we played 16 different courses this year, so trying to show love to all the Wichita courses that don't always get played, and especially for a league setting. So it was a really good time, man. And I have to shout out Darren Bottom, who we basically took his format of what he does. Kevin Neufeld, your 1880 partner, who also helped me with the spreadsheet that I use for flights. And man, it makes that thing so dummy proof. Thank goodness.
That guy's a spreadsheet guru.
He is.
I looked at some of the formulas for that one that he sent, and there was like 8 if statements. Like, I'm out after 2.
Yeah, he's really, really good. So thank you to all of those people, and for making the first season of Flight successful. But man, I'm outie. You got anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. As I said, comment some topics. Comment your thoughts. Player of the year. Comment your thoughts. Best season ever. Who had it? We'd love to hear from you. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.